is Hard Parking, brought to you by Right Honda and Right Toyota out of Scottsdale, Arizona. I am your host, Jhae Pfenning. Been doing a little bit of traveling lately. I'm going to be traveling a little bit more coming up in the next few weeks. This last weekend was the CleanNuff event, Horizon Nights. You've seen it on my Instagram, maybe not. Probably more so on the One Auto page. So I was able to sit down with a few of the contestants, a few of the winners of some of the prizes. I don't know what the future is of me recording at events. It was incredibly difficult this time around between the two-step competition and just being closer to the DJ than I really wanted to be. It just wasn't, I don't know. It's one of those things where acoustically it's not ideal, which is why I'm always up for the challenge to see if I can handle it. And I think we've done pretty good on recent shows. You know, last year we did Elite Tuner and that was just as loud, but for whatever reason, it just, I don't know, just the way the acoustics were probably set up. Maybe I need to get some more sound blankets, sound walls. It was incredibly windy. You know, we had to worry about holding the One Auto tent down, which is where we have the podcast set up. But it was an incredible event. It wasn't a perfect event, but the vehicles there were really cool. Maybe a few things I would have done differently, but you live and learn. And I was excited to be part of the event on behalf of One Auto. And that is Charles. You guys see him on One Drink Wednesday. Incredible guy, doing it right. And everybody in this world who wants to do the right thing for the car community, I will try to always be down when I can. You have my blessing. Yeah. After this word from 4Wheel Online, going to touch on a few other things regarding traveling, some quick thoughts, and then we'll get to the CleanNuff coverage. Jhae Pfenning here, and I want to tell you guys about 4Wheel Online. For over a decade, 4Wheel Online has been bringing the best truck accessories and truck parts to enhance the appearance and performance of all trucks and SUVs. They are dedicated to providing an extensive range of upgrades that will match any maker model on the road. The truck products cover everything you need to give your truck a custom look and added functionality. And if you need a tire and wheel package, head over and use the configuration tool. They carry all the major brands of wheels and tires, so go get outfitters today. So visit them online at 4Wheel Online or call them at 813-769-2451. Again, that's 4Wheel Online, the number 4 Wheel Online. So before I get to some traveling discussion, I recently did this thing called Floatology. So last year, my son bought me, it's for Father's Day, and he bought me a Floatology thing. And it's like a float tank where you can kind of meditate. It's kind of cool. Also got like this cryotherapy. I did the cryotherapy about 3 weeks ago. I'm not sure how I feel about it. It's kind of weird, kind of hokey, but I do know that it's proven for a lot of people. I think it's one of those things you have to do over and over. And then I did the leg compression where you basically put your legs, I call them G suits, similar to what the Air Force, the pilots have to put around their legs. But you kind of step into these big thingies. You can unzip them or step into them, and then they just shoot air and they compress your leg and decompress. It's like a 30-minute thing. The cryotherapy, you stand up in a tank. You're pretty much naked. And you can't, underwear or shorts or whatnot. And you have to turn every 15, 20 seconds to prevent freezing. It's kind of awkward. Wasn't a big fan of it. I have 2 more sessions left. I got to knock those out. I have to do some traveling really soon. And I'm going to be gone by the time those gift certificates expire. On a recent trip to Michigan, we had rented an Audi. We kind of did this thing, right? So when it comes to renting cars, car companies aren't really big fans of you picking up a car in one location and taking it to another. They like the round trip thing. They don't like the one way. And so I use my status in my, favorite rental car company because I have status. That's why it makes them your favorite, because it's the one you have status in, national. And when I said Chicago to Chicago, I could pick whatever I wanted, like anything from, economy to super duper SUV. When I said I wanted one way from Chicago to Grand Rapids, it limited me to like 3 vehicle classes. So what I end up having to do is, because you don't have to pay money when you reserve a rental car. So I had 2 reservations just in case I didn't find something on the lot big enough for all of us. But I did, actually, because some of the people I thought were traveling with us were going, like a day or two before us. So I had an Audi Q7, late model, had a lot of miles on it, but it's had to have been like a 2021 or something. It was super nice, like super nice. And I thought we were going to be balling for a while, but the whole purpose of that was because it worked out better, cheaper in the end, is you pick up the car in Chicago and you drive it to Grand Rapids. And then you pick up a car in Grand Rapids and you drive it all week when you're on vacation. Then, of course, you drop it off and fly home. So when it came time to turn the beautiful Audi in, not a lot of stuff on the lot. I ended up getting a Jeep Grand Cherokee, but not the new ones, not the Grand Cherokee Wagoneer looking ones, which, by the way, one pulled in, but it was 3 rows in. Like it was like I pulled in the first row. I was about halfway up and I kind of wandered around trying to look for another car. And then by the time I found a vehicle, I looked over and like a newer Grand Cherokee was pulling in. It was like the 3rd or 4th row in so there's like probably 30 cars after me. There's no way I would have been waiting for like 3 hours for them to check all the cars in, get it through washed, get it refueled, check it out, and repark it. And I don't have that kind of time ever. But I did get a Grand Cherokee. It's pretty nice. I think it was a 2021 because 22 is where they changed the body style. And there's this thing, like I love Grand Cherokees. I've had several Jeeps. And ever since I went off-roading, it's in the back of my head, like, I kind of want a Jeep, But I love my Infiniti, of course, but there's not a lot of stuff I can buy for my Infiniti on 4Wheel Online, plugged to the sponsor you just heard about. When it comes to Jeeps, when it comes to Toyota Tacomas, you're going to be hearing about that coming up on another episode with Jimmy Jett of the Snail Trail 4x4 podcast. But it's one of those things where it's just like, the Jeep was fine. I don't have a lot to say about it other than it's capable. If you don't know anything about a Jeep Grand Cherokee, I'm going to tell you one thing about them. They're capable. There's a lot of them. I wish they were cheaper, but I like the SRT8, the really fast one. And also the SRT8 has a low towing capacity, at least the ones I used to like, but I don't own a trailer. I don't own a boat. I don't tow cars. So it's funny we get hung up on things that don't matter. And that's one of them. Let's talk about travel just a little bit, and then we'll get to the CleanNuff coverage. Couple thoughts. I think that when you're on the airplane, there's a few things that they still need to change. Like, I feel that we can skip the whole water landing preparation when you're not flying to like Hawaii or Puerto Rico or the Bahamas. So if you're flying from Corpus Christi, Texas to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, chances are probably not going to make a water landing. Not that you would ever have to make one anyway, but if you were, chances are you're not landing in water. You're probably going to land on a runway, on the middle of a highway somewhere, if the pilot can help it, in the middle of a field. Like, can we get instructions on what to do if we land in a field, please? Can we get some safety about landing in trees? Every movie I see, someone crashes and they come flying down through the trees, and the main person, the character, they're all falling through, and somehow they don't break anything as they flip and flop and fall down and bounce off all the branches and hit the ground at 100 miles an hour and get up and dust themselves off. And then there's like 3 or 4 people that are impaled, of course, because that's just how this works. I think the last time I saw a plane crash in a movie where it was felt semi-realistic, except for Brad Pitt survived. So, it wasn't real, was World War Z. But at least in that one, the dude was impaled by a piece of the chair, and then pretty much everyone else was dead. That's more realistic. Not to get morbid, but I think we could save time on not spending so much focus on what to do in the case of a water landing, especially once you've already started watching your movie that you're trying to watch. And it doesn't matter if you don't want to hear the flight attendant. It literally interrupts in your ear everything. And it's like, look, man, I don't know. I think we're just wasting time. It's kind of like a random thought. But let's get to the CleanNuff event after this word from Anchor. Can I make money? Oh, by the way, Hard Parking Podcast shirts are here. You can pick those up. Those are brought to you by Right Honda and Right Toyota. I make them here in my office. Of course, I order all the supplies and press them right here in this office. 100% of those sales go toward a local humanitarian effort that is brought to you by those 2 car dealerships. So you pick up Hard Parking Podcast shirt. Find me on the Hard Parking Violations Facebook page. If you know how to reach me on social media, which is, at the end of the episode, Jhae Pfenning, I'm not hard to find. I can get you pretty much any size you want. All you 2X and 3X people, it's going to cost you a little bit more, but it's all going to aid someone desperately in need. CleanNuff coming up. Sitting here with Mr. Turkey Garcia, one of our favorite watchers, I guess. I don't know if that sounds creepy or not, but our watchers from One Drink Wednesday that we do every Wednesday with myself and Wes Tankersley. Turkey, what's up, man?
Hey, how's it going, Jay? I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing good, man. Talk about your truck. I wanted this the little blue one down there behind us right now.
Yeah, well, I got that last year, no, 2 years ago. It was we got the inspiration because my dad has this story goes that he had an 85 that he had given to my brother, not just to my brother, but for us to drive to high school, be passed on to us. And problems came out and my brother ended up taking the 85. And so ever since then, my dad's like, I want another one. And so recently, before pandemic even happened, my grandma passed away. And so
it's a belated sorry to hear that.
We were already prepared for it.
Sure, still.
We were already prepared for it because what happened is that my mom and my sister had gone to Mexico for a birthday, my grandma's birthday on my mom's side. And so they took pictures with my grandma on my dad's side, my dad's mom. And we noticed a bump on her neck. And she's like, nothing happened. She held on the pain. She never told us about anything until we saw that bump. And there was a picture of a year difference. She had nothing on 1 year, and then the next year she had like a bump.
Right.
So my dad's like, you know what? You need to get that checked out. And turns out it was cancer. So after discovering the cancer, they went to another doctor in Mexico. This was all in Mexico City. So my grandma wasn't here, but my dad had to fly out. And so then we were already prepared. We're like, okay, she has cancer. They did the surgery. And then after the surgery, she was going to radiation. She was going to radiation, and she went from, I believe, Monday to Friday every single day. And my dad was covering the whole cost. So even though my dad's biological sister lived like right down the street from her, my grandma, my dad's stepbrothers, nobody helped in, nobody pitched in. My dad took all the responsibility. And so my dad he'll come back for a month and then leave for 2 weeks, and that's how he was going for the year during the pandemic. And then when my grandma passed away, that's when it hit my dad because my dad would call my grandma every Monday without hesitation during work. He'll call her every Monday, let him know, hey, I'm already awake, I'm going to work every single Monday. Until when my grandma passed away, the first week of Monday, my dad calls and he's like, oh, and it kind of hit him. And for a while there, my dad was like down. Sometimes he would tear up. I mean, he wouldn't show it. And then since he wanted another square body, we do landscaping in Arizona, in eastern Arizona. This truck was just out in the driveway, and by coincidence, the owner of the truck was outside. So when I saw the reaction of my dad, his eyes lit up, his face turned into a smile, and he's like, I want it. I was like, I told my dad, I was like, well, I'm not a step side, I'm more of a fleet side guy. But then I looked at his face one more time, and I was like, we have to get this truck. So I went halves on my dad. So the truck is on for my dad and I together. And so every year what I try to do, we go to church once a month before the 15th, either the day 15th or after the 15th of the month, because my grandma passed away on the 15th of January. And so we were prepared for it. And then when that happened, we got the blue truck, and my dad's like, right away, I want parts for it. parts for it. But during the pandemic, everything was on back order, so we couldn't do much to it. And I was like, when I told my dad, I was like, we got this truck, we just can't keep it under the garage, right? So I told my dad, I'll take it to car meets, I'll take it to shows, try just to get that truck out there. And then right now, currently, I am working on a 77 K15 in my backyard. So it's like right now, my plan is with the blue truck is for everybody to see it and be like, oh, same truck every time. But then there'll be a time where that truck goes under the knife, but I will have the next truck done and be ready for show ready.
Nice, man. Tell us, I don't think we even talked about what year the truck is.
It's a 1982 GMC Stepside.
This thing is blue.
Yes.
This thing is nice.
And
talk to us about turkey.
Okay.
You told us on One Drink Wednesday, but most of these people don't know nothing about that.
Oh, yeah. Turkey, well, I got the nickname Turkey from friends of mine in junior high. That's where I started. But how it really started was because I have two older brothers and a sister, and I'm the youngest of all. My second oldest brother, they started calling him Turkey because of our size. We've always been big family, big guys. And that's why he got the name Turkey. That's why I just found out the other day,
That's
too.
Hilarious.
And I got it from junior high. I mean, friends would call me Turkey. I mean, just for the fun of it. I was okay with it. I was like, our brother is called Turkey as well. I mean, I'm not a problem with it. But then from junior high, I went to high school. And this high school was called, I went to Westwood High School in Mesa. And so my freshman year, I wouldn't get much in trouble. But when I did, the security guards already knew who I was.
No hiding.
Nope. And so what the funny part is that the security guard already knew my oldest brother, and to the point where he knew my oldest brother to where he will call my dad directly on his phone, letting him know my brother was doing donuts in the parking lot. And then when my second oldest brother was in high school, that's when everybody, all his friends, all the teachers started calling him Turkey, because everybody else would. And then my sister was known because back then, at that time when my sister was in high school, Coach was a really big thing. So she got Coach shoes, and between her friends and the security guards, they call her Coach Girl. And so when I went to high school, I got in trouble. He pulled me out, and he's like, let me see your ID. I give him my ID. He looks at my last name, and he looks at me and tells me right away, you're Turkey's brother.
Did you give you guys nicknames? Like, I mean, how did they differentiate? It's like you're Turkey, he's Turkey, or is like there's Butterball and there's...
No, well, my brother didn't really go on with him anymore after high school.
Got it. Yeah,
so
yeah.
I took it in during high school, the 5 years of high school. Just 4, but I did become super senior, and everybody tells me, are you embarrassed being a super senior? I was like, no.
No, I mean, you're the smartest motherfucker in school.
I wish I was. No, but I did become a super senior, but I'm not embarrassed to say it. I've met people that are like, oh, I'm embarrassed to say I went to high school 5 years. Like, no, I'm like, what's wrong with it?
Let me ask you this: what is your learning style? Because to me, there's applied knowledge, and then there's the knowledge that people have just to get out. And like me, I'm more of an applied knowledge, where I have to go over some shit 2, 3, 4 times. Like I failed math. I had to take algebra twice. I took algebra 2 twice. I almost took algebra 2 twice. I had to take geometry twice. You know, and even in college, like I worked my ass off. But if I had to take extra time, like some people memorize to pass the test, but applied knowledge is once you actually remember that shit years later.
Yeah. No, it was the same way. I didn't do good in math. And that's why when I became a super senior, I had to retake those either freshman or sophomore classes. And like I told my mom was mad when I told her I'm becoming a super senior. I'm not graduating with class. With my class, I was supposed to graduate. But I was like, well, I'll go back to school. And like I told my mom, I know I'm going to graduate. But I was the type of guy like, I'm just going to pass with D's. I'm not really the type of going to school really well. I mean, and I ended up passing my class, and I did end up graduating.
Hell yeah, you did. Turkey, man, thanks for stopping by the Hard Parking booth. We'll see you on Wednesday, One Drink Wednesday. This is a good man, Mr. Turkey Garcia. Good man.
All right.
We're sitting here with Lynn, who won Best GM, I think there's a category.
Yes,
I don't
it
care.
was.
I'll be completely honest with you. That was absolutely one of my favorite cars.
Thank you.
I think, wasn't there one of those in Fast 5 that they jump right out of and jump it over the cliff?
Yeah, there was.
Yeah, in the very beginning, it was silver.
Yep.
As soon as I saw that car, I said, that shit is badass. So when I saw your car today and you came over and talked to me, I said, that shit is badass. So first off, thank you for being here.
No, thank you.
And congratulations on your award. Tell us
Thank
a little
you.
bit about it.
So it's a Grand Sport. It's a replication of the real Roger Penske Winterstein race car, number 12. They raced in against the Cobras. All the Cobras were winning at the track, and GM built these 5 race cars in the 60s to race against these Cobras. And the Cobras were very light. So they had to take 1,000 pounds off the hardtop, 800 pounds off the convertible, which made them very, very thin in the fiberglass. GM found out they were racing, and all the big companies had signed contracts they wouldn't race. When they found out they were racing, they decided not to build the other 135. So only 5 real ones are around. They're worth between $7 and $10 million. They'll never be out of the garage. The guys will probably die. The wife will sell it too cheap. But I can drive mine every day.
Have all of them been accounted for, do you know?
Yes, they are.
Because, you know, there's always like some random
all
car
5.
missing somewhere.
So the number 12 car is actually in Philadelphia, about a half an hour from the Philadelphia airport, the number 12 car.
That's awesome. Well, once again, congratulations. Thanks for being here. Thanks for
you.
coming over here and spending a few minutes talking about this show. That's a loud car.
Sounds good, though.
I think that is like a Chevy SS with a Holden conversion. I can't see as well because I recently had LASIK, but I'm going to say that's what that is.
Sounds really good.
Thanks, Lynn.
Thank you so very much.
Eric, here we are again. Another event, another trophy. Like, how do you find room for all these?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot here. You know, I got to stay humble. These are definitely tough events to come to, and I'm not always successful. My last event 2 weeks ago, I didn't take anything. So,
am I your lucky charm then? Because the shows that I go to, you seem to win something.
You know what? You might have that Big Brother swag or something. You know, you come out and somehow make
it work.
happen. You know?
What did you get? Yeah, you got Best Engine Bay.
So, yes.
I'll be completely honest. You probably could have. I mean, there was a lot of nice cars out here. A lot of people kind of stepped their game up for their engine bays and their interiors, and you could have taken a few of those. I mean, Philip Travers, his interior was like he's got the VIP style Camry, and I don't know if anybody could beat that out here. But outside of that, yours is pretty fucking dope.
I mean, I appreciate it. His definitely is one of a kind. He definitely went all out. Their attention to detail is superb. I definitely appreciate it. You know, I stick more to the traditional carbon fiber and what JDM heads really enjoy.
Great. Well,
No worries.
what do you think of this CleanNuff event?
Honestly, I've never even heard of them. And to be honest, it was a breath of fresh air. They had a lot of stuff that I've never seen before.
There's a lot of variety here. It's appreciated. I love seeing that.
And the cars, there's a lot of cars I've never seen before.
Right.
From everything, every genre really. And then they even had supercars out here. And even some of the events, they had a foot race. I've never done that before either.
Right. Well, here's the deal. He had a meet, and here's a little publication here. He got arrested and behind a bunch of bullshit, and the media tried to spin it to where they're called them street stunners. So they basically tried to pin all the streetcar takeovers on him and his events, which obviously is complete bullshit. So when he asked us to come out here and represent with him, it's like, of course, you know, absolutely, whatever you want.
No, I mean, I met Charlie. He seemed like a really genuine guy, and I mean, for the most part, it was really organized, and it wasn't trashy. You know, we were able to have a good event. Like the event flew by. To be honest, I didn't feel like at any point that it was boring or that it was dragging. even with the heat early on.
No, absolutely. Well, thanks for stopping by the booth. Again, you have to come over to the house, or we'll just have to do something more official, talk about everything that's going on in the world. Why don't you tell us what happened earlier? This is not the first thing you won tonight, is it?
Oh, no, it wasn't. So, again, going back to some events I've never seen before, they had a foot race. I happened to just go to the bathroom. There's a porta potty, and I was walking back, and I just see a huge crowd, and people are just racing. And then they had 2 relays, and then the last one they said dad bods. And so I was like, oh, that's me, 100%. Mind you, they called me out trying to say that I didn't have a dad bod.
This dude is active military, and he plays soccer.
So it's just a foot race, it's a sprint. And I went ahead and I jumped in, and they made me prove I had kids. So I showed them I had 3 beautiful kids, and then took off. And I guess I had them by a couple bodies, and then I started slowing down, thinking that that the race was over, and then people started passing me. I was like, whoa, we're still going? So I just sped back up, and I won.
That's awesome, man. Well, congratulations on that as well, and maybe you got to get out of here. Everyone's going to start packing their shit up.
Yeah, they're aggressively trying to leave now.
We'll see if I can find some of these other winners before they leave.
Well, I definitely appreciate it. You know, it's always a pleasure coming, sitting down, talking with you. I'll definitely have to take you up on your offer to actually stop by the house and stuff.
That is my man, Mr. STI. Oh, here comes Alan Daniel.
All right, thank you.
Later. So that was Mr. Thirsty STI, but Mr. Alan Daniel is here. And so when that happens, we got to kind of clear the room. It's like VIP. It's like the guy who comes the red carpet, and all of a sudden the media starts going, and everyone's like, who just showed up? Was it fucking Robert Downey Jr.? And they're like, no, it's,
God, bro, I wish.
It's Mr. TikTok himself. Like, where are you now on TikTok?
3.5 million. Yes, sir.
That's a silence for me. So what did you take home today? And thank you again, because last time, it seems like every time we see each other, you take home some sort of hardware.
I mean, it's a blessing, bro. You know, like, honest to God, dude, like, every time I come to a show, I'm always looking to see what else is out there, because I don't walk into the building thinking, oh, bro, Optimus Prime is here, Camaro ZLS is here. I just come here to enjoy the show with everybody, bro. And I literally, bro, I swear to you, when he said Best American, I looked around, I was like, oh, that's going to be tough. Like, because there's
some nice cars here.
Yeah, there's a lot of cars, bro. And then he said Optimus Prime, and I was like, at Camaro ZLS, bro. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to promote.
No, here's the deal. Like, I was one of the judges. Fortunately, I didn't have to judge your category. And we're walking around looking at cars. He's like, I know there's so many cars here, Best American.
Yeah.
I said, have you checked that out? I said, if you haven't checked it out, just check it out, and you judge for yourself. But you better go over there and check it out. So.
I appreciate it, Jay, bro.
Because I know what's up.
No, dude. Like I said, man, from the last time that we did an interview, I told you, bro, we go back like limousine seats. You know what I'm saying? Like, we go way back. Yeah, way back. You know, back to SEMA 2017. So, you know, just to see where you are too at the same time, bro, I really appreciate this opportunity, dude. Our club took best club participation, and then Optimus took Best American. So it's an honor for me, bro, just to even be here. You know, I haven't driven the car in almost a month and a half because I'm working on the other one.
Yep.
So I was kind of like, oh my God, bro, like, people are grinding out there.
Absolutely.
And I know they're coming for Prime. You know, they want the trophies.
You're
the
target.
It is what it is, bro.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
But it's just, I love helping out people too. So like all the coupon codes and everything I provide for everybody, I see they're using them and they're building their cars, and I'm like, okay, you're putting your touch on it now. I can't wait to see what you do with it. You know what I mean? It just, to me, it motivates me when I see somebody trying to compete with me too. It's a friendly competition. You know what I mean? If I win, I win. If I don't, I'm just happy to be here.
100%, man. Well, I'll let you roll out with your crew. You guys represent, like I said before, always. I love seeing Arizona head turners. I love seeing Prime. I love seeing you and your crew, man. You guys are good people. You're doing it the right way.
Thank you, bro. And thank you. Big shout out to Charles, man, with CleanNuff. Absolutely killed this car show. Absolutely amazing. That two-step was crazy. That was the first time I ever seen all the cars at one time do a two-step at the end.
That's what I was hearing, because I didn't even walk over there. I just heard it. I'm like, what's someone getting shot right now?
Dude, that's what I said. I said, cops showing up after this for sure. Everybody across the street probably think that was gunshots. So we apologize to Texas Roadhouse, but this is how we do it.
Hey, there's no better place to make it sound like gunshots other than Texas Roadhouse.
There you go.
Right?
That works.
All right, Alan. Thanks for coming through, brother.
Thank you, bro.
So Jhae walked away, and we decided to confiscate his microphones and talk to you.
By the way, this is Nikki.
And this is Kat. We decided we're going to take over the Hard Parking Podcast.
Yes. What do you want to talk about, Kat?
Oh, I don't know. Let's talk about, this show, this Horizon Nights. This is fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
This was Charles's first big show under CleanNuff.
Yep.
I think he did
Lots
pretty
of
dang
people
good.
showed up.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun, very respectful. A lot of people here. Everybody enjoying the show. I didn't see anybody doing anything terrifying.
Had a few two steps in front of the booth.
Oh my gosh.
Had us all rattled, but
you can feel them, you know.
Yeah.
Lots of people stopping by to see our booth car, which was actually your car.
Yes, it was. my 2000 Honda Civic with a 2019 Civic Si drivetrain.
So pretty and so fast.
It's a lot of fun.
Very light. But we had this gorgeous
C8.
C8 in front of us the whole time too. And what's that?
Drew and his C8 Corvette. It's
Yep.
a C8 Matrix on Instagram.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right. There are a lot of cars here today. Of all types.
All right, girls, get off the mic.
No.
We're getting kicked off.
No.
Sitting here with Mark. He has... So there's a lot of cool cars here. His van is one of the sickest things I've ever seen in my life. And the other girls who were just on the microphone, I said, did you see the van? They go, yeah, I saw the van. I go, yeah, but did you see the van? They go, yeah. I said, go over there and look inside that van. They went and looked inside the van. They had the same reaction I did. Holy shit. Tell us about your car.
Well, it's a 66 Chevy van. I bought it in 73 while I was in high school. Put a 428 Pontiac twin turbocharged with 16 mechanical fuel injectors in it. Behind that is a Hughes Super Glide 2-speed with a trans brake, so it could do wheel stands going through a Ford 9-inch rear end. I did 14 body modifications to it. Most people can't tell what make it is. That really makes me happy when they come up and say it's a Dodge or something and it's actually a Chevy.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, actually. And I guess the biggest thing that I'm proud of on the van is that I kept it for 49 years. It'll be 50 years next.
So you're kind of underselling yourself. But when you walk in the van, you open the door, what are we looking at? Because there aren't seats back there.
That's a big block Pontiac engine. Some of the parts on that came off of Mickey Thompson, from Mickey Thompson. Of course, he's been dead many years now, but those are really specialty parts that they built just for him for his Pontiac engines. I was fortunate enough to get a few of those parts. The mechanical injection end of the thing is what impresses me about the vehicle, because everything nowadays is electronic fuel injected with computer controlled. And that thing all works off of poppets and springs and little ball bearings inside of little what they call pills. Very difficult thing to get to idle. It was originally, that engine is actually built to go from an idle to full throttle, not to drive on the street. So to get that thing to drive on the street, I bet it took me 2 weeks. 2 weeks every day of working on that vehicle to get it to idle.
Oh, Jesus. So you got giant tires in the back. You have wheelie bars in the back. You have a mural on the sides. Is that your car? Is that your van? Oh, no, that's this thing, this Milwaukee Tools. I hope Milwaukee's sponsoring that build, by the way.
Yeah, me too. You don't want to give that kind of credit there.
Yeah, it's the wrong red for Milwaukee Tools. But, dude, that van, that is amazing. That is absolutely amazing.
The headlights are out of a 76 Malibu. The taillights are out of a 66 Pontiac Catalina. The story on the taillights is I went to a wrecking yard with the idea in mind of getting 1958 Chrysler Imperial taillights because they look like lanterns if you put them sideways. And when I told the guy what I wanted to do, he wouldn't sell them to me because they should be a purist going to something to do with Chrysler. So I saw those in the same lot, and I said, well, I'll take those and draft those.
Well, thanks for sharing your build. It's such... I can't talk about it enough. It was just so awesome seeing that. And there's a lot of these other cars, you don't typically see at these type of shows, and I love seeing it.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by, man. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
want to thank Turkey Garcia, especially. I mean, Turkey, he comes and he joins our One Drink Wednesday we do every week. Myself and Wes Tankersley. Turkey is one of the people who are there just about every week. And it's super cool to meet people in person. That it's not the first time I've met someone in person from One Drink Wednesday. And that's pretty special. It's pretty freaking cool. Also, Lynn with the GM, she did not have any social media, which is too bad, but you can check out Turkey Garcia on Instagram at Turkey. I think it's like turkey.garcia. Alan Daniels always coming through strong. Nikki and Kat, thank you so much for helping me out with the booth. This guy, Mark with the van, I can't even stress. I need photos of this thing. I think I'm going to collect photos of this thing from people. I'm going to ask, hey, who has photos of that badass van? I had a bitch and mural. It was very period correct. Visually from the exterior, like it had like a Conan the Barbarian looking mural on the side and slaying some giant dragon, and the interior was like velvety, and it was super cool and super weird at the same time. But that giant freaking motor in the middle, I can't even describe it. And you open the side doors and you expect seats. It's a giant motor. All you see is like 3.5, 4-inch turbo piping. It's amazing. Let's get into some car news real quick. Recently, Carvana, the giant vending machine, that you can buy a car from. It doesn't quite work like that, but it kind of feels like it works like that. But they laid off 2,500 people. That's a lot of people. I drove by one, actually on the way to the CleanNuff event. Empty. We have a couple of them here. Empty. Super weird. It almost seemed like they were going to kind of reshape how we buy vehicles. It feels like a lot of their cars are a little bit more expensive than you'd want to buy, than you'd pay for other places. The trade-off is you don't have the hassle. Maybe they roped all those fees into the price of the car. That's supposed to, so like if you go to the dealership, right, and you want to buy a car. Say I want to buy this 2015 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo. Carvana, it might be $18,000. At the dealership, it might be $16,500. So you're thinking, let me go to the dealership. So you go to the dealership, and by the time they tackle all their fees and everything on there, it's about $18,000 plus you've dealt with someone's bullshit. And I think maybe Carvana was the other way. They just tacked everything on there to begin with. But unless we as a consumer wasn't fully aware of that, then it just looked like everything they sold was more. Like when I was looking for my Infiniti, a few of them popped up on Carvana, and they were 30, 35, 40% more than some of the other ones that I was looking at. And I was like, psh, as if. Carvana's in trouble. That's it for the car news. First off, I want to thank everybody who joined. I want to thank Charles again at CleanNuff. But I do owe you guys a few answers from Q&A. I've asked you to submit questions on the Q&A segment on the Hard Parking Violations Facebook page. For those 3 or 4 people who continue to submit questions, thank you. For everybody else, step your game up. You can literally ask me anything you want, and I may or may not answer the question. I might, fold the question up and throw it at the wall because it's a dumb question, but I'm going to answer 3 of them. One is from Quincy Shelton. What was the average age range of the people you saw at the nightclub in Florida where clothing was optional? So about a month or two, it was 4 months ago. 3 or 4 months ago, we went to Key West. Wife, like the Pied Piper, she's attracted to music. The Pied Piper plays a little pipe and all the little rats follow, and then Pied Piper drowns them, the nursery rhyme, the Pied Piper. So my wife, she's not a rat, but she likes the music. And so we're following, we hear this hip hop, it's happening music. So we go up to the 2nd floor and not a lot going on. Everyone's coming down from the 3rd floor. It must be hot up there because dudes are coming down without their shirts on. So I was like, all right, we go up there and we find that there's a handful of people that just have no clothes on. 2 or 3 naked old men, some naked old lady, some lady that was topless. And she looked like she's used to being topless, like no tan lines. And it wasn't until later a bachelorette party joined the dance floor, not us. And of course, bachelorette party, usually younger chicks usually look a little better. But the average age of the people at the nightclub that chose to not wear clothing, my guess would be 56. They were older than me. but the average age of the people at that little nightclub, probably 35, 30. That's a decent mix of people. But yeah, super fucking weird. Bob Marshall asked, what aspect of technology or specific technological advancements interest you the most? Bob Marshall is Bob Chat. He joined the show recently for the second time. I was on his show that's coming up soon, and I'm going to go visit Mr. Bob Marshall in the Canada soon. We're going to have a date, a dude date. We're going to drink beer, and I'm going to watch him smoke weed. Probably eat some whatever people in Canada eat. Some maple syrup on my, I don't know, something. Maple beer, Mountie. Anyway, he asked me, okay, so what aspect of technology? I went to school for biometric security. I think science and technology is really cool. Biometric security is most of you immediately go to fingerprints, retinal scanners, your gait. Gait is how you walk. That is actually a biometric. Your ears, every ear is different. Every eye is different. Believe it or not, your retinal. You see the retina scan, right? It's really iris. The iris is really what they do. Retinal takes way too long. I know that. 4 years of school. Fight me. But it's kind of one of those buzz things. You know, you either had to be really good at programming, which I'm not, or you had to have pretty much already been in the military. I was trying to get into Booz Allen Hamilton and some of the other big firms. That was my goal. That's my dream. I wanted to work for SAIC/Leidos. And I kind of did from the medical side, medical IT, but got close, never close enough. And that's what I'm doing now is just healthcare IT. But that aspect of technology, I like improvements. I like kind of almost sci-fi, right? Science fiction. I mean, to be able to access things with just your body. Skylar Spartan asked me a really good one. I don't feel like answering that right now. Well, actually, I will answer that. Skylar Spartan says, do you think you would have gone down the same path in life had you been raised by your biological parents? I'm going to say no. Number one, no one knows who my biological father is. And my biological mother was sick, says my adopted mother. All I remember is she wasn't a very nice woman. And I don't look like any of my siblings, which means different dads type of deal. But I mean, life is different. Life is precious. Life is weird. I don't know where I'd be. I could be dead. I have depression sometimes. I don't ever talk about it. I don't ever talk about mental health. Everybody else is talking about it, but we all suffer. There's been very dark times in my life where I didn't want to be around anymore. I'm not like that anymore. Might be in jail. Might have 6 ex-wives. Might have 500 kids. May have never got married with 500 kids. You know, when it comes to cars, like I don't know what triggered what in life. I look at my drawings when I was a little kid and they look like just as shitty as every other 6-year-old's drawings. I thought I was going to be an artist. I guess I kind of am in some weird way. But I don't know. I don't think I would have gone down the same path. I think I'm not into what, you know, everything happens for a reason. Like I was meant for something to happen. It's different. Everything does happen for a reason. Wes and I talk about that sometimes. Wes Tankersley, co-host of One Drink Wednesdays, also host of Shaping Success podcast and co-host of Tank in the Mouth. But anyway, things happen for a reason because something caused them to happen. Things just don't happen out of divine intervention or just because God wanted them to happen. It wasn't meant for me to meet my wife. I just met my wife. We liked each other and we got married, and we've been married for a long time. No one sent her to me. I'm the thought that there's hundreds of people for everyone. There's way too many people for it to be only one person in the world for you. It's all about who you meet and what you're into at the time. And as far as, you know, my life being different from my biological parents, absolutely. It would have been totally different. Maybe I would have liked cars. Maybe I would have been in cars. Maybe I would have made different choices in life and I'd have cooler cars, or maybe I'd make shittier choices in life and wouldn't have shit. That's a good question. I challenge all of you. Anybody who's had anything major, if you, let's say you have one parent and you lost a parent when you were a kid or raised by a single, you know, whatever, or you're adopted, like ask yourself that. Pick one major thing that happened in your life when you were younger and choose the opposite and tell me where your life was. That's deep. Skylar Spartan, Skyler is he's a fellow, he's an NSX alum, and he's also going for like a pit boss, which is barbecue, smoking meats. So I got to get Skyler on here. Last question, Charles Brown. If you weren't in the medical IT field, what would you like to do for a living? Charles Brown, friend of the show. Haven't had you on here in a long time, but I would focus on the podcast. I would focus on my One Auto movement. I have an excellent team. Trying to do some big things with that this year. Leave a lasting legacy in the community. And if I just had a lot of money, then money would afford me the opportunity to do that, because I don't have time to do anything, and it's very difficult. The medical IT field is not something I chose technically. I kind of did and kind of didn't. It just worked out that way once I graduated college, and biometric security just did not seem like it'd be in the cards. So I had this medical IT thing because I'd worked at a hospital for 4 years while I was going to school full time. But I'm not good at what I do. I'm okay at what I do. I don't like what I do. A lot of us don't like what we do for work, but we do it because it pays the bills. I don't hate my job. I rarely ever have a bad day at work. Rarely. I screw up. I get people mad at me. I get mad at people, but, life is too vast to be focused on the little things. What would I do for a living? I don't know. I would just try to focus on media. I'm happy when I podcast. I'm happy when I edit audio. I'm happy when I try to get creative on things. Takes my mind somewhere and just have a good time. I like working with people. I like being a networker, connecting people. Don't like sales. Anyway, that is a Q&A segment. Special thanks again to Charles at CleanNuff. Also, Right Honda, Right Toyota, Scottsdale, Arizona, 4-Wheel Online, Sales Shop, Wireless Services, Fountain Hills Motorsports, which was right next to us at the CleanNuff Horizon Nights event. Got to hang out with Drew, check out that See It. You heard the girls talking about it on the podcast, Nikki and Kat. I want to thank my Patreon business supporters, Kuya Automotive and Pell Construction out of Caledonia, Michigan, Kuya Automotive out of Warren Garden, Florida, Mark Stolman, Catherine Cox, Eddie Ramos, Richard Graves, Byron Jones, Bo Jung, Alice Camina, and Drew Bunkley. You all will have something coming in the mail soon. Got some stuff for you guys. If you guys are feeling FOMO, everybody else, I do have a Patreon, patreon.com, HardParkingPodcast. As little as $3 a month, you can get all sorts of bonus shit. The t-shirts are here, like I said earlier, $25 shipped. Shipping is expensive. $25 shipped unless you're a 2X or 3X, and you're going to have to give me $30, $5 for the inconvenience. Bigger shirts cost more money. It's not me. Blame the man. HardParkingPodcast@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram at Jhae Pfenning, JHAEPFENNING, or Jhae Travels, JHAE_Travels. If I said that too fast, my name's on the podcast. Join the Hard Parking Violations Facebook page, YouTube. I don't even want to talk about the YouTube right now. But here's one thing I do know. I can't grow without you telling the world how great this show is. So let's do this. Let's grow this thing together. Snail Trail 4x4 next week.
A beater.
Shut up!